All right, guys. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about. It's been 4 years, been over 4 years off anabolic steroids, testosterone, anything that would basically pop me on any sort of WADA panel. And I just kind of wanted to go over where I'm at, how I'm feeling, check on things as far as where I was compared to now. And back then, I remember taking 125 milligrams of testosterone a week, which is about a half a cc, and my level was 1260 nanograms per deciliter. Um, and there were plenty of times where I was walking around cycling 750 milligrams per week of testosterone, and my level was 3,000 plus. The highest I remember seeing it on a blood panel. I didn't get a ton done when I was on gear, but I remember it was at 3,200 at the highest. And my body weight was usually 250 pounds to 255 pounds in there, typically, and then I would cut to 242 for competition. And now, and I should say the highest I ever got was 262 pounds body weight. This morning I'm 219 pounds, so roughly 30, 35, even upwards of 40 pounds lighter. Pretty lean still. I haven't noticed that I've accumulated really any more body fat from then compared to now. I mean, a lot of that is with all the running, training for that 100-mile race that was in June, and all sorts of stuff like that. But right now, my testosterone levels, I've gotten them checked many times since I came off. The last one was 498 nanograms per deciliter, which was it was at the end of August. So right around 500 has been where things are at as far as the total testosterone levels. The big difference you'll see, like free testosterone was like 11, and whereas I remember on gear and even on TRT type dosages, it was 30, 40, 50 plus. So free testosterone was much, much higher. Estradiol right now is like 33, I want to say, on the last one. Picograms, I think, per milliliter is how they measure that. And I remember on Tren and such, it was like 180 a lot of times. Just, and I didn't have any issues there. Like high estrogen, I never felt anything off. But overall, I feel great. I feel amazing. I do not regret coming off whatsoever. I think it was 100% the right call. I have zero regrets about it. In fact, I think more people should do it. I mean, I can't get over, like, having the body weight lighter. My blood pressure is better. Now, like I said, I'm taking 10 milligrams olmesartan, 2.5 milligrams amlodipine, so an ARB and a calcium channel blocker at the lowest possible doses to keep it very low. But all those years I was on PEDs and testosterone, much heavier, I never had my blood pressure in check. It was sky high. Sleep apnea for a decade I had. I have no sleep apnea now. But I still also take precautions like sleeping on a wedge pillow to create more of an incline and keep my body more upright to prevent that kind of stuff, because I still have a pretty big neck. But overall, the sense of well-being, the health, all these things, like I think it's the way to go. I have no regrets whatsoever. It can be done. I did a PCT consisting of HCG, HMG, and then clomiphene citrate, and Nolvadex. And now you can get enclomiphene instead of clomid, and it's much better. And you can PCT and do this, guys. Like a lot of guys out there, and I've worked with a couple guys recently who were in the process of coming off, and I've looked at their blood work. I've seen how they're doing. It's not easy. There's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be a tough road no matter how you cut it. No matter what you do, if you do things 100% right coming off, you're still going to go through that period where you're going to be super low libido, low energy, not be able to lift as heavy. You're going to go through the ups and downs, but it's worth it, guys. I feel so much more free now. I never have to pin, never have to worry about that. None of that stuff. Like, it's not a crutch. I don't have this crutch in my life. And it's freed up energy. It's freed up energy to focus on reading the Bible more, which I'm trying to grow my spiritual walk with the Lord. Never actually read the Bible. No, I'm working through it. First Kings we're in, and I'm working through it every day, trying to do about 5 chapters. And I miss some days, but it's a priority to grow in my faith, because I've learned I can't do anything without the Lord. Like, there's things, He let me go down a path that was a darker path where I was completely distant from Him during my 20s, and I was living in a pride and lust and all sorts of different things and anger. and it just kept me from all the things that I could be without it. You know, I used to be Pete Rubish, right? Now I'm just Pete, and I like that. Like all the accolades, all the attention, all the fame, so to speak, on the level of fitness at least. You know, having people greet you at airports and at the Arnold and all these events, meets, um, it did a lot for my ego. I felt like I felt incredibly powerful. I felt like I had a lot of pride. I was doing my own thing, you know, completely ignoring the Lord and ignoring the other parts of my life, the other aspects of it. What else was out there? And now that pride and all of that, the feelings of that, the fame, the power, it's been stripped from me. And I had to find myself. I had to find the Lord. And so that's where I'm at. And I think a lot of guys, you have these vices and these crutches that hold you back. And it could be a lot of things. It could be drugs. It could be PEDs. It could be pornography. It could be food. It could be all sorts of things. There are these vices that hold us back. And when we break free from them, there's a lot more out there that we can see. So I try to live now in a sustainable way. I mean, you guys saw, if you haven't seen, check out my Instagram. I have it pinned on there as the first post. I hit a 640 deadlift with hook grip, 353 bench, and then a 510-pound bare knee squat, and a 620 mile even. And it's just like, it's a much more sustainable thing. I feel good. I feel healthy. I'm finding that balance with cardio and with lifting, with strength, hypertrophy, all the things. That's really the onus of my training. It's like, how can I have health dialed in? How can I be fast as possible, in as good of cardiovascular shape as possible? And how can I be stronger and then have some muscle to show for it? So how can I look the part? And I've really enjoyed this journey. It's just been a completely different thing than the sole focus being on strength that was there for all of my 20s. And I've had to put more of my pride to the side. And, it's like the 100-mile race, guys. That one eats at me, too. That one eats at me. I trained for over a year and a half for that. Really hard. And it just... Hold on. I tried to do it on my own. It was almost a cocky mindset of like, I can do this. I've trained harder than everybody else. I'll have an amazing time. I'll finish the race in under 25 hours. Whereas the cutoff is 35 hours. And now, if I were to do it again, I'd look at it like, just try to finish. Walk with the Lord. Like, have him at your side. Pray. Be humble going into it. Get a coach. Know what you're doing. Like, there were so many mistakes I made where it was just this selfish mindset of, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to train harder than everybody. And training harder doesn't necessarily get you the end result you want. It doesn't. So there's a training harder, there's training smarter. And that I just went into it with a completely selfish, cocky mindset, and it held me back. So that's one of the big things, too, that I want to get redemption on at some point. But when the time is right, and I'll know when the time is right. So I'm just trying to live this lifestyle now and live healthier, keep the diet in check, just be there for my family, be around for a while, and that's been the big focus. So a lot has changed, but it's all, positives, really. Like, it's all positives. I feel so much better. I would just never go back to that. I would never go back to PEDs. I would never go back to taking testosterone. I would never go back to being bigger. It just wasn't worth all the downsides compared to positives. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. God bless. Comment, subscribe, all the things. Appreciate you guys.